Today we are going to cook a brisket whole. We've got some Traeger applewood pellets and our little Traeger Junior, the grill we've had since the earliest days. Here we're just going to go ahead and trim the brisket up. We're just getting off any big chunks of fat, any thin edges of meat, just really getting it trimmed up and squared away so it's a nice looking package that's ready to put some seasoning on. And for our seasoning, we're just going to be using Nebraska Star Beef Signature, typically a steak seasoning, but it works equally well in the barbecue application. And when we put this on, you don't want to get too carried away because it does have a lot of flavor and a reasonable amount of salt. You want to work it in really, really well. Make sure you get it worked into the surface good because the smoke's going to work on it, the fat's going to render down. We're going on the grill here. And the initial part of the cook, we're going to keep up fairly high. Medium on the grill is going to keep us around 300. We'll bump up to the high setting every now and again to get it to around 350. What we're really looking for is an internal temperature of 180 to 185 degrees. You can see here we're not quite ready, but 2 hours later, we're there. And it may be not exactly 2 hours. The temperature is going to vary a little bit, or the time is going to vary a little bit based on the temperature of your grill. Whenever you get there, it's time to wrap it up. And the stuff on the bottom, that was the fat side. We cook fat side down, so that renders out and kind of turns into some little crispies. Just go ahead and leave those on. They won't hurt a thing. Wrap it up nice and tight in foil or butcher paper. The grilling type pink butcher paper is what you want to use. We put it back in the pan here for convenience. And we're going to go back on the Traeger, but we're going to bump the setting down to low. If you're using an oven, 200, 225. And the way we know we're done cooking is messing around with the glove there. The internal temperature at the end of the cook should be somewhere around 200 degrees, 197 to 200 degrees. Now here we're going to go ahead and take the point off, and the point kind of lays on top of the flat a little bit, goes over the top of the brisket. So we're just going to take that off, kind of follow the seam with the knife a little bit. There's the point is off, and we've got the flat. Now we're going to do the switcheroo here on you in the video and go from the flat back to the point. And this is the point, and we're cutting it into burnt ends. They're a heck of a little barbecue treat. And as long as that brisket's cooked, it's amazing how tender and juicy it still is. We'll cube this up. We'll put it in a pan on a drip rack because it is still really juicy, still quite a bit of fat rendering out. And we're going to sauce that real good and back on the grill. A little money shot for you. That stuff is freaking delicious. Now here we're going to slice up the flat portion. You can see this was down on the end where it was the thinnest. The bark got a little heavy on the bottom. We'll probably sacrifice one or two of the first pieces to the barbecue gods. That means it's my treat. But anyway, the rest of it is picture perfect. You can see the juice coming out, and it is fall apart tender. Nice smoke ring. Slice this up for the rest of the crew up front, and it disappears pretty fast.